Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fiore Calls Game. I am your host, Andrew Fiore, from my house this time for the first time as I'm coming off of COVID, but we are back. The show must go on. And I'm joined, as always, by Kyle Reel, who's also sick, so this is going to be a flu game for us. And we have a big guest here today, Ed Lee, former standout at URI at wide receiver, and an invite to Patriots training camp a few years back. Ed, how we doing?
Good, man. Good. Appreciate you having me.
We had your former QB Kasim Hill on a few weeks ago, so we figured we
Yeah.
might as well get the whole duo.
Yeah. Yeah. Might as well. I saw that one too. So, yeah.
Yeah, you got a few shout outs in there, and let's just dive right into it, starting with your time at Rhodey. So you got there in 2018 when the program was at a pretty poor state. And by the time you left in 2022, the team had become a huge playoff contender. What was it like for you seeing the growth of URI football over your years there?
Yeah. It was great, man. It was definitely a culture shock when I first got there. So me and Kasim went to high school together, and it was a pretty prestigious high school, like ranked top 25, everything kind of, you know, like that. And when I first got to Rhode Island, I'm like, this is not what I'm used to. Um, it was kind of just all over the place, and I can say that now because we're a good program now. So we were kind of just all over the place, not really organized, and players just kind of doing whatever they wanted. Like it just wasn't what I was used to. And the class I actually came in 2017, and so I was with Henry Yanakopoulos, Jake Fire, Justice Antrim. We all came in at the same time, and we kind of noticed like this is not right. Like this is not how this program is supposed to be ran. And so we kind of took it upon ourselves to kind of change that, starting with our class and then moving forward. And I think that that just helped the program overall. So once, not to say that the cancers kind of got out, but it was kind of like, we set the standard early. And once the new classes came in with that same standard, then that's when the program changed as a whole. So yeah.
Yeah, you definitely set the standard for the teams. Team like the last year's CAA champions, which
Yeah.
I'm glad to say that
Yeah.
I was part of. But it was obviously guys like you and Kasim and
Yep.
Coach Yanni now who set
Yep.
the foundation, and he's still doing great things with them. So on the point of
Absolutely.
coaching, I just wanted to ask, like, who are some of the coaches that you feel really mentored you along the way? It can be in youth football, high school, whatever it is, like, and also with your time at Rhodey.
Um, I would say I had a coach, Leonard Stevens. He wasn't my coach, but he was my trainer, and he kind of helped me along the way. I probably started playing receiver around 11 or 12, and I was just not very good. I mean, not that I wasn't good, but I was like didn't have technique, just like a little 12-year-old kid just running around. And so I started going to him when I was 11. Um, and he just kind of shaped me into the player that I became. But also like off the field too. Like I call him sometimes just for advice and stuff like that too. So him outside of Rhode Island, but Coach Coop, actually he was the DC there. So he wasn't even really my coach, but um I would always come in to like the DB meetings and just mess around, talk trash, but it ended up being a reoccurring thing where I would just come in. And it kind of helped me honestly to like think from a DB's perspective and to take that knowledge into what I was doing too. So um Coach Coop was a big part, not only in that aspect, but he also told me about leadership. Kind of wasn't a vocal guy at first, just kind of just wanted to lead by example, but he kind of molded me into more vocal leadership. And so Coach Coop, I want to give a shout out to him, and then Coach Custavius. My bad, this is the last one. Coach Custavius, he was there. He was only there for 1 year, my senior year. But he came into his first year coaching and just trusted me to lead the group, and just trusting me to just do what I can do, show what I can do, because the first 5 years or whatever it was, I didn't really get a chance to do that at first. So definitely him too.
Do you think it was those coaches that played a large role in you picking Rhodey, or was there something else that drew you to the program?
Yeah, so actually kinda, yeah. So there was a receiver coach, Ari Confessor. You guys probably don't even know who that is, but he was the receiver coach there the year before I got there. And I don't even know if you guys knew this, but I walked on to Rhode Island. I walked on, um, and so he was the coach there. He really liked me. They just didn't really have any scholarships left, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna go there. I know the coach likes me, so I'll just work really hard. Get a scholarship hopefully in within that next year, and just go from there. And then he actually ended up leaving right the year after I got there. So we had a season, and then in the spring he left. And so actually I'm gonna just give a timeout. If you're a college kid out there, do not commit to a school for a coach, because you just never know. Like, they're gonna do what's best for them. And so you want to commit to a school, not to a person. So yeah.
That's strong advice, especially right now. I mean, the landscape has shifted immensely since you even were trying to
Yeah.
pick a college. Do you think you had it easier back then before NIL blew up, or would you have rather been doing that process now?
I mean, nah, NIL is crazy, man. I think people are going to different schools for the wrong reasons. Um, just money, money just it changes things. And so it's not just for the love of the game or for the love of the school. Now it's all types of other stuff. So I like where I was at before without the NIL. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that it's like just looking for, from the outside a bit in. And I mean, I do work, on staff and stuff. I'd say that it's a lot harder to build a culture, you know what I mean? When there's so many guys leaving and coming in every single year, it's like no matter what the college team is, even if you, keep a lot of guys around, you can still expect what, like 30 dudes or something to leave, you know what I mean? Or you're
Yep.
gonna expect that to come on your team. It's not really a
Yep.
question. Kind of adding my 2 cents and how kind of it's really become the Wild West, with NIL and the transfer portal.
It's crazy. And yeah, like you said, like you could have a kid that's average, and he'll still leave. Like, why are you leaving? Like, you're playing, you're doing well, you're growing, and they just, I don't know. It's just become crazy. College has become crazy.
I think some guys don't want to grind for the play, all that time
That
on the
too.
team. You know what I mean? People, it's just like one season and they're ready to bounce.
That too. Yeah, I think, especially for me, the thing that I take pride in the most is like staying down when I wasn't playing. Um, just holding true to what I committed for. So I think that's what like I'm most proud of that I can say. And I just feel like if I just bounced around, like it just would not be the same. So
Yeah, I mean, that kind of leads into my next question. I was going to ask about those few years before you got a ton of playing time. What did you really soak up from that? And what was that experience like for you transitioning to college ball?
yeah, it was tough to be honest. Um, the first year I kind of figured that I would redshirt. I kind of wanted to be honest, just because I was a smaller guy. I wanted to get stronger, kind of find my way into college. And then you know, those couple of years before I really started playing, I played a little bit here and there, but it wasn't like what I wanted. And so it was pretty frustrating to be honest, because I felt like I could be out there. Obviously we had talented guys, Aaron Parker, Isaiah Coulter. We had a whole bunch of talented guys. Amir Dorsey too. Um, but it was very frustrating for me to be honest. Um, and so I kind of just used that as motivation, like anybody else should do. And eventually just made my way, just kept climbing my way up. And there's gonna be a whole bunch of obstacles. I had injuries. I had, just coaches that I don't think saw my potential, but um, yeah, I just kind of had to work my way through everything. But like I was saying earlier, like it just made it that much better when it did pop through and I was able to play. So yeah.
So after those first few years, that's when Kasim joined the program. And going to the same high school as him, did you play a role in recruiting him?
Yeah. So we usually talked a good amount, even when he was at Maryland and Tennessee. And so one day and it's crazy because, like there's little Instagram questions you can do, like it'll say like ask me a question and you can answer it, right?
Yeah,
I just sent him a screenshot. It was a screenshot when he first went to Maryland, and I think he might have asked a question. I think he said, "Am I coming to URI or are you coming to UMD?" And I think it was about probably like 7 years ago now, but that had just came back up, and so eventually it ended up being like that. So he texted me one day and was like, what do you think about me coming to Rodeo? I'm like, please, like, please come. And so I texted Coach Murph, connected them. And then I don't even think he took a visit up. Like once he came up, he was there. And so yeah, I like to say I had a pretty good part in his recruitment up there. So yeah.
one thing he talked about with us was the importance of that 2020 season, the COVID year. He looked at that
Mm.
as a turning point in the program. What was that year like for you, and do you view it the same way?
Um, yeah, I do. Obviously, like that was his first time playing with us. We knew what type of team we had going into that, and I knew it was way ahead of what we were used to. And so we went in, I don't know if Villanova was maybe ranked 5 or 6. It was something up there. And once we won that game, that was the turning point for the whole program. And from then to now. Um, and that was kind of like my coming out party, I would say. I had a pretty good game that game. Kind of got my feet wet. I ended up getting hurt the next game, though. I dislocated my shoulder. So it was kind of different for me than it was for him. Just because that kind of like shifted my whole, my whole career. But definitely was the turning point for sure.
Yeah, he pointed that one game specifically, just like
Yeah.
you did. And then the following year, first year back with the fans, and you guys really showed out. It was something like a 7-4 season. The atmosphere had changed, and that was my first year there. Did you notice the same sort of jump in the team into 2021? And how was that? I want to say 5-0 start for you.
Yeah.
Feeling that buzz.
Yeah, that was because the COVID season got cut short. So we couldn't really, I mean, we knew we were pretty good, but we couldn't really, see the full effect until that next year. So that 5-0 start was like not that we didn't know, but it was like solidified. Like, yeah, this is legit. Like we're legit now. And obviously it didn't pan out how we wanted it to, but yeah, that season was pretty special, especially for the people that had been there, been through the fire, been through 1-10, 2-10, 2-9. Like that was pretty special for all of us to see and be a part of.
Do you think the plane caused the losing streak, which was the vibe in the clubhouse that year?
Yeah, people always say that. I don't think it was that. I really think it was more we just we couldn't play in the rain for some
Yeah.
reason. That was really what it was.
Because he
Um,
that same thing for some reason.
yeah, it was. I don't know what it was. If it rained, we just did not play good at all. It was terrible. So I really think it was that.
That was like 5 games in a row or something. With my camera equipment, dude, I was aware of it too.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And then the Towson game, we warmed up and it was sunny. And we
Yeah.
literally ran back on the field and it was pouring and it just went all downhill from there. That game, Villanova was bad. It was bad. Yeah.
A couple weeks back, URI played Stony Brook, and that was one of the worst experiences I've ever had because the game got delayed multiple times. We're sitting in the bubble. Both teams are warming up in the bubble. Like, it
Yeah.
was so frustrating. And when we finally got to play, they played well, spent circumstances. But I
Yeah.
have another question that I asked Kasim, and as you know, video guy, I gotta wonder when I'm sitting up there on the lift and I'm recording you guys do indies. Does anybody watch it? Does that actually get watched?
Indy, I'm not gonna lie. No,
That
no. I didn't
Thank you.
I never watched
I'm sitting
like
there. It's like I know we gotta get it all, but come on.
nah, so I'm not gonna lie, no. I don't even think the coaches ever like we never sat there and said, we're gonna watch Indy today. Like we never did that. So no,
That's the best
no.
question that's ever been asked on that show. I really think they were just trying to give us something to do. And I should
Yeah,
clarify
probably.
for our viewers, the plane question was in regards to the Patriots' private jet being lent to the football game, which was an unreal experience. But a 3-game losing streak immediately after kind of ruined the vibe of that for the team for the most part. But as a staffer, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know how that was for you though.
Oh yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, so I guess I was like the only one who didn't know what was going on. Like everybody else kind of had a clue, but I guess I was just in my own world. So when we're like, because we usually get food and we get on the bus, and so there was no food. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? I need some food. Like, what's going on? I'm hungry. And so then we just start driving. So I'm like, we must be stopping. There's no way. We must be stopping. And then we get to the plane, and I'm like, wait, what? And so we pull around the corner, and I just see Patriots on there. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. That whole experience was crazy. The food on the plane was good. Movie, everybody had a screen. It was, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime experience for a lot of people. So yeah.
I mean, I'm just happy to go on any of the flights, but I mean, I will not lie to you. When you're the video guy, they shove you in the furthest back seat, and I got no room.
Oh,
I would have liked
yeah,
to experience that.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta say, it was refreshing to be having steak tips instead of those sandwiches they give, where it was
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
hardest to chew bread in the world. Like they were giving us straight rubber, dude. Those sandwiches were
Yo,
not it.
they were not it. And I'm not going I hope Coach Slim don't watch this because when he used to say, because we used to have like a little walkthrough. You remember that? Like a little
Yeah,
walkthrough, and then we would get on the bus. And he used to say, do not leave. Do not leave the locker room. Wait here until the bus gets here. I used to go like to the top of campus, go to like Caliente or something, get me a nice little burrito because those sandwiches were horrible, bro. They were terrible. And you're right, bro. The bread was so hard. It was like I don't know. It
it was
was
like a
terrible.
tire.
Yes, it was so bad. So I just after a while, I had been there for so long. I used to go to Albies. I used to just get whatever. Just get whatever, man. Yeah.
I will say they're doing a really good job lately because Brady's DFO and he does a fantastic job.
Okay, yeah. See, Brady knows. That's because Brady has firsthand experience with those sandwiches. They're terrible. They're terrible.
It got to a point where people were trying to get rid of them. Like you're trying to pass them off to the guy next to you. They don't want it.
Yeah, yeah, nope. Nope. We probably wasted so many sandwiches from that place. I don't know where those are from,
Oh,
but yeah.
I
No,
think I
don't
I'm
say it
not
because
gonna say it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna say it, but I
don't,
know.
don't. Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna. It's none of our sponsors, thank goodness. But
Okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that following season though, 2022 was the year you became the guy. You were wide receiver one after Ivory Frimprong left, and you led the team to a breakout year. The year I think the team should have won the whole conference because that
Yeah.
team was stacked. How
Yeah.
was it for you breaking out? Was there anything in particular that led to it, and how do you assess that team?
Yeah. A lot went into that. I think that summer was so critical for that team. I mean, we had some new pieces, Mark. Marcus DeShields. We had Katero Summers. Um, those were like big pieces of the offense. But that summer was just so much different from every other summer because everyone was there. We had Coach Leach in the weight room, great coach. And then we were doing extra like on top of that. So me, Katero, Kasim, and John Irby too. John Irby. We were all roommates in the summer. And so we were just Katero was waking up at like 7 a.m. I'm like knocking on my door. I'm like, bro. At first I'm like, come on now, that's too early. Like weekends, I'm like, no, I can't, not today. But then it started to become a habit. So then me and him were just out there doing receiver drills. And I think that were then me and him would go and then more people would show up. And so it just turned into like this big group of people getting extra work on weekends or Fridays or something like that. And so that all just collectively helped that team become who they were. And yeah, it was a special year, man. I think about it all the time. I always send clips to Mark, Kasim sometimes. Like that was probably one of the greatest things I've been a part of, to be honest. So yeah.
And that was the year you guys played Pitt, which was an unbelievable experience, I'm sure, playing at formerly Heinz Field.
Yeah, that was I would say that was like the second best experience I had. I think Virginia Tech was like probably the craziest I've ever had.
Oh,
Yeah, but Pitt, I actually got to really play in that game. And people always say like when you really get out there, you don't really hear it. And that is so true. Like when you get out, they're loud, but once you get on the field, it's like you don't even know that they're there. Like I don't know what it is. It's just like tunnel vision, I guess, but um you really just don't even notice it. But it was an awesome experience. And they have like I think like 5 or 6 of those guys are playing in the NFL right now. So they were a pretty good team as well. And I feel like we were kind of in the game a little bit too for a while. So
definitely.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was a part of Minnesota, going to Minnesota last year, and that was a really cool experience. Although the game wasn't very competitive, unfortunately, it
yeah,
was still really cool to go to that. After you go to some FCS games and stadium, and there's not really many people there or whatever it is. Go to
yep,
a Big Ten game, and it's just like a totally different world. And multiple of those guys, played in the NFL. That offensive line was insane.
yep, yeah, yeah,
Well, that game, I was up in the stands pretty much, and you guys had those Pitt fans sweating. They were
yeah,
not happy at the end of the third. It was a
yeah,
10-point game. You guys
yeah.
really balled out. But I totally forgot about Virginia Tech because I wasn't there yet.
Oh
How
yeah.
was Enter Sandman as an opposing player?
So the funny part is we actually weren't even out there yet. So they had just sent the captains out while they did their whole little inner Sandman thing. I went out the locker room. I had to see that for myself. So I was out in the tunnel just listening. I'm looking up like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. That was crazy. And for that game, I did play a little bit. Actually, fun fact, my first career catch was in Virginia Tech, which is crazy. But
Oh,
we were I was pretty much on the sideline for most of the game, at least the beginning. And when you're on the sideline, then that's where you hear everything. So it was pretty loud in there. Like that was a crazy experience for sure.
yeah, it must have been. And going back to 2022, another crazy game. The 6 overtime game. Am I getting that number right, or was it 8
Seven,
overtimes? Seven.
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 Yeah.
You had the game-winning play, from what I recall.
Yes. Um, wait, can we take a time out? Can I get my charger real quick?
Oh,
Is it
absolutely, man.
is it gonna
I'll
cut?
throw us. Go ahead.
Like, could you cut this out or no?
Yeah, I'll throw a commercial
Okay.
break on.
Okay,
I'm going to
okay,
throw
cool.
us to break, and we will be right back, folks, with Ed Lee.
All right, appreciate it. All right, hold
Experience
on.
local
My bad.
excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, RoofRight is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Ed Lee, former URI receiver, and we were just getting into talking about the longest game in FCS history, 7 overtimes, and Ed Lee made the game-winning play. How tired were you guys out there, and what was it like finally ending that thing?
Yeah, that was probably the most hectic game I've been a part of. Because it was just back and forth, back and forth. And so I'll give you like a little inside information. So when we were the first overtime, um, I believe we scored and then they scored. And like I think I was having a pretty good game too. And I just felt like they couldn't really check me or Katera or whoever else was out there. Like I feel like the DBs weren't that good. And so the first overtime goes by and like I don't really touch the ball, so I'm like, okay, I'm all right. So second one goes by, same thing. Third one, fourth one, fifth one. I'm like, we need to end this game. Like we need to end this game. And so I think it got to the sixth one, and he calls a play like I knew wasn't really getting the ball, and obviously the whole time I'm praying that we just win the game, and I think we didn't end up converting it. And so and I think we would have won if we converted. And so I think they get the ball on offense, they don't get it. And so I told Kasim, I'm like, bro, just throw me the ball. I'm gonna make a play, just throw me the ball. Once I heard the play, I kind of knew like, all right, this is it. And so it was actually a rule that 7 is the longest you can go. So if we didn't get that, it would have just ended in a tie. And so, but we didn't know that at the time. And so, obviously that chemistry just kicked in, with Kasim, and I'm usually not the one to like say, give me the ball. Like I honestly hate when people do that, but I don't know, something just made me say it like, bro, I need this. And so he called the play, and I think I was supposed to be somewhere else, but I had just lined up wherever he was gonna throw the ball that play. And so yeah, like we just ran it. I knew he was throwing it and I just made the play. And I was probably, if not one, then like the second best moment I had like at Rhode Island playing football at least. So yeah, that was a special moment for sure.
Ed Lee out there somewhere. We ball. It's
Yeah.
so sick, dude.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. That was amazing. Yep.
I gotta bring up a more of a sore subject here. The UNH game where
Yeah, I knew you were
Rhodey
going
was
there too. Yeah.
Rhodey was horrifically robbed. Everyone who was a part of that team hates UNH to this day because of that game. What was it like as a key player in that game, though, knowing you were this close to the playoffs?
It was so emotional. Like, when you're a kid and you lose and you cry, right? But that's kind of like a kiddie thing. But for me, at least, it was like one, I didn't even know that had happened yet. So when we were on the field, we didn't know that he didn't catch the ball. We didn't know that. We were just, we just thought like that was just a crushing loss. And so, man, after that one, I cried. I'm like, man, this is like we just did all of this work, put all of this work, and it was like it was almost like 6 years down the drain for me. Especially because that game was just like I had put so much effort into that game as well. I can't remember what I ended up with, but um it was just heartbreaking. And then to see the picture of the ball on the ground, it was like, yo. So then I don't know if this is leading into your next question, but when we had went to the like watch party for the playoffs, we're thinking we're getting in the playoffs. Delaware lost. They were 6-5, I think, or something bad. It was like, and then we didn't get in. I was just, yeah, it was just another tough moment. So, um, yeah, that's like a that hurts me in my heart when that comes up because it's like, dang, we were right there, right there. We still should have made it though, but yeah.
I don't want to say anything that's gonna get me in trouble, but CAA refs.
Oh no, look, I'm out of college now. They're horrible. They're horrible. I don't care anymore, bro. They're terrible. Terrible, man. I might need to put on a ref uniform and get out there because there's no way. There's no way.
I don't think it's a coincidence they put in more replay after that year. And I remember being in, I think, Kyle, you might have been with me when we went to Maine the next year. I was in the elevator with some CAA replay officials. I was like, oh, they gave you guys work after the UNH mess last year? And they went dead silent. And I just walked out of the elevator. We know the kid that took the photo. He was a classmate of ours, Connor Calden. And
Hunter.
he said he was showing the player, some of the guys had seen it on the sideline, and that photo ended up getting a meeting with the league where Thor went out and was like, look guys, this isn't right, to the league.
Terrible.
So that incident went viral, as it should have, because you guys were robbed.
Absolutely, man. Terrible. I don't know why they didn't just replay it in general, but man,
It
yeah, that was
very
bad.
blatantly hit the ground. I don't know,
Yeah.
but must have been a sore spot to leave on. But you guys did get one more game. What was it like playing your final game at home in front of the fans?
It was just like everything just came together for me, like just the whole journey from red shirting 2017 all the way to 2021, not really playing a little bit, but not really. And obviously I had dreams and goals of making it to the next level. And for those 4 years, it was like not really attainable for me. And so that last year for me was like probably like the best year uh in my life, to be honest. It just all came together, and then to go out with a win there, and at the time we're thinking we're making the playoffs. It was just amazing for me. So yeah.
So then after that, what you were just alluding to, getting the pro dreams, making it, did come true, as the Patriots gave you a call after you were undrafted. Getting that phone call, first thought that was in your mind, what was it?
My fault. First thought, I see. I mean, I cried then too, man. I guess I'm a crybaby. So it's actually funny because I got a mini camp invite there first, right?
Yeah.
That was right after the draft. And they kind of lied to me, to be honest. They were like, "Oh, we're not looking to sign anybody right now." They had like 89 out of 90 roster spots. So they had one roster spot left. And they were like, "Oh, we're not signing anybody." So I'm like, "Man." So I left there and I go on Twitter, and somebody that was at the mini camp had got signed. So I'm like, "Wait." No. I'm like, "No way." And so but before I had left, they told me that uh June 1st is when I think it was Devin McCourty's retirement finalizes. right? And so at the time, he was still technically on the roster until that day, and then his roster spot was available. And so they were like, we'll see. Like, we're not telling you we're gonna sign you, but we'll see what it looks like. And so that day came, and I didn't hear anything. And I was like, man, so I'm like looking at other options. Where should I go? CFL, XFL. It's I'm trying to explore my options to see what I'm gonna do. And I wake up the next day, the second, and my agent is like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Am I ready?" He said, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "The Patriots are signing you." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh my God." I ran downstairs, told my mom. It was just a surreal moment, man. It was like, because I was so stressed about the whole situation. And so it was just like a dream come true, man. I was a Patriots fan. I've been a Patriots fan since like 4 or 5 years old. And so yeah, man, it was just a great experience, great moment. Um, I'll remember that forever for sure. So yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta ask, like, I mean, me personally, I know if I ever got the chance to walk around inside that building, I'd be in awe. So, what was that like experience like for you walking around in a building that you kind of just idolize as a football fan and as a player, growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I think my first day there, I probably stayed in that locker room for like hours. Didn't move. Like I just stood there because it was just surreal to be in that. Like Tom Brady, like he was in this locker room. And I was just thinking that in my head, like Randy Moss been in here, Edelman, Wes Welker, like all these legends have been in here. And it's like I'm right there. Like I'm right there where they were at. So it was kind of just that's just what I was thinking. And yeah, like you said, I was just walking around the building, chilling in the locker room. It was just like just a real moment for real. Yeah.
Does it really have like not very many windows, like everyone says?
Um,
I was told that the building just has like no, like on the inside, it's like a dungeon.
honestly, now that you say that, yeah, they don't. I mean, in the front they do, but not like by the locker room or anything like that. No, there's no windows, none. But
As
it doesn't give off that vibe though, like dungeon type. It doesn't really give that, but you're right
well,
though. There's not many windows.
Bill was hoping to make it seem like a dungeon, I'm sure. But as a DMV guy, what led you to the Patriots? Was it just because they were good and Tom Brady's sick?
Um, Pretty much. I mean, when you're a kid, you kind of just like the good team or whatnot. Um, but I think I was just watching. I don't know if it was I think it was probably my first game ever watching football. I would probably say, and they won. And so from then on, it was like I'm a Patriots fan, diehard Patriots fan. Never really liked the Reds or Commanders now. Um, and then also it was, my dad played for the Lions, and so I always just wanted to root against him too. So I didn't really want to like the Lions either, and they were trash too. They were terrible. They went through that streak where they were bad. So yeah, it just kind of just ended up happening like that. And so yeah.
How long was your dad in the league?
3 years.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that must have played a huge impact on your development as a kid.
Yeah. It's just always been football for me and him. Like Sundays is like don't talk to us. This is football day. Play fantasy football. It was just all football. And so um that was just a big thing for us. He ended up being one of my little league coaches for years. He was a coach in high school for a year. Um so yeah, it was like just amazing to have somebody who's been there and done it at home. And so I think that was definitely key to my whole journey as a player. So yes.
Something unique about the Patriots during that time was you were someone who you grew up watching the Patriots when they were great, growing up idolizing these guys, and then Bill Belichick builds that Super Bowl winning team. You grow up watching him, rooting for him. He was still there by the time you made it. From being a kid all the way playing through high school, college, you got to play under the guy that you grew up watching. So when you met Bill for the first time, what was that interaction like? Was he as gruff as they make him sound? Were you picking his brain? Tell us all
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. So I actually have a funny story. So no, he's not as rough as media sees and just this serious guy all the time. Like he jokes around. He's a normal person, but he doesn't really like media, and so that's why he kind of comes off like that. Um, but yeah, my first time meeting him, it was like I was so nervous. I'm like, how you doing? He was like, welcome to the team. Let me know if you need anything. Um, and I was like right before my first practice. And so now we go into practice. And so it's my first day. So I don't, I'm just getting my iPad with the playbook, don't know anything, just kind of going through indie drills. And so if we get to like team, and so we kind of had some injuries. I think Devontae Parker was kind of hurt, Tyquan was kind of hurt, Juju wasn't practicing. So it was only like maybe 5 of us or 6 of us out there, 6 receivers. And so um I don't know what ended up happening, but I ended up going out there with the ones. Something happened and they just threw me out there. And I'm like, nah, I don't know what I'm doing. And so he's like, nah, just ask him in the huddle. I'm like, all right. So I'm so nervous. Like I'm running out there so nervous. I have no idea what I'm doing. So Mac is like, line up on this side. You gonna motion over here, and you have a corner route. So I'm like, all right. So he said, I'm gonna just do this, and when I do this, you come in motion, and then run the corner route. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go out there, and I'm like low key forgetting, like, so I'm just saying it over in my head. So he brings me in motion. I run over there. Says set go. So I'm running. This is probably the fastest corner route I ever ran. I ran it so hard, and I look back, and nobody's moving. It was just me. False start. Bill Belichick blows the whistle. Take a lap. Take a lap. What are you doing? I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm getting cut. I'm like, I'm cut. I'm just like, I'm cut. So I ran that lap so fast, man. So that was like my first Bill Belichick moment. Like, he told me to just take a lap, man. And I was like, wow, I'm in so much trouble. And this is where the build that you guys don't see comes into effect. So when I came back around, he was like, "Man, take a deep breath. You're good." He just threw me back in there, and so it was like it was like a wholesome moment for me, like that he cared enough to like bring me back over, tell me I was straight, and to just calm down and just put me back in there. So yeah, that's the type of coach that he is. Great coach. And it was just awesome to get to play for him for the time that I did.
How much harder is it to learn an NFL playbook in comparison to like Rhode Island?
I don't know if it was just Bill O'Brien's playbook or not. It was so hard. I couldn't even I could never get it fully down when I was there. Um, just because the terminology is so much different from like a different OC. So like Coach Murph at Rhode Island, he has it was a pretty complex playbook, but the terms are different. So he could call this one play this, and then you get somewhere else and it's a different play call. But then maybe that play call was something in Coach Murph's offense that was completely different. So now like you have to like train your brain to be like, okay, this is not the old one, this is the new one. And so that was a challenge. And then just I don't know if everyone does this, but Bill O'Brien, he had a lot of one-word calls. So if he says like panda, you would have to know, you have to line up on the left, or you have to know where you're at, know what position you're at, line up on whatever side they line up on, and then you have a route. Then you have to know your mid-route adjustment. So if they play this coverage, you have to know to adjust it to something else. But then you could line up at this position, and then the next time he calls it, you're somewhere else. So it's like it was so much information. I just feel like I didn't have enough time to get it down fully, but it's definitely way harder, or at least his was.
What were some differences you noticed between Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick?
Um, Honestly, not that many. They were pretty similar in their coaching styles. Um, they're nice to you until you mess up for real. Then they're gonna get on you. Um, and so yeah, I mean they're pretty similar in the way that they coach. I think Bill O'Brien definitely jokes around a little bit more, but yeah, they'll help you. Helpful coaches just don't mess up, or you're gonna hear it over and over. You're gonna hear it the rest of the day. So yeah, I would say they're pretty similar though.
Well, I saw when I was looking you up, one of the things that came up was a headline saying Bill O'Brien gave you praise for a specific route you ran one time. Do you remember that? And what was that? What did that mean to you getting praise from a guy like Bill O'Brien?
I don't know if I remember that. Is it on social media? Is it on
Yeah, it was on Twitter. It was like whatever day it was. There were like top moments from camp today, and it was like Ed Lee runs a good route. It was not a slant, but it was something. And he said you did it like really effectively or something.
Okay, yeah. I don't see around that time. I'm gonna give y'all another fun fact. All right, just a little off topic though, but
Yeah, go ahead.
um, around that time, especially when I was getting signed, like the day I was signed, there was a lot of rumors that DeAndre Hopkins was getting signed,
I remember
right?
that.
It was really big, like it was almost about to happen, basically. And so, right when all of that was happening, that's when I got signed. And so, the amount of DMs I got, like, bro, you're not D Hop, like, who are you? All of this. So, I shut all my social media off. I like filtered my Twitter so I couldn't see anything with my name on it. Um, I think, my parents and friends were looking at it, but I had just shut it all off because that's like that was kind of my welcome to the NFL moment too. Like the amount of DMs and stuff, like people are crazy, man. So
Yeah.
I probably just never ended up seeing that video. Um, but I will say like I was saying, Bill O'Brien, like if you do something good, he's gonna give you your props. And I mean, obviously if you hear that from him, it's gonna make you feel good. So um yeah, whatever he said, if I heard it, it definitely made me feel like I was definitely hyped up off of that. So you can send that to me after this actually. I
Yeah,
want to see what it was. I want to see it. But yeah.
definitely. And I mean, you were smart for that to delete social media,
Yeah.
especially at a time when rumors are going nuts in the summer. Uh, Obviously, you did a good job tuning out the noise, but
Yeah.
I got to bring it back and ask about your teammates at the time. Did you form close relationships with them? How was your connection with Mac Jones, who I had to dig in the closet to find this baby for
Yeah.
this show? What was it like getting to know those guys, and who were your closest friends on the team?
Yeah. No, Mac was definitely somebody who helped my transition to make it way easier. Um so when I first got there, he had just took it upon himself to just help me. Like he sat there and I told him like, bro, I'm having trouble with this playbook. Like this is so hard. Bro, this man literally sent me 100 audio messages of him calling out plays, made a folder and sent it to me just so that I could practice hearing the play and like knowing where I lined up, bro. And that was like one of the first days that I got there. So that just shows what type of person he is, number one. So I'm regardless of where he's at, I'm always gonna be in his corner. We talk occasionally, but not too often. My closest friend probably would be or Demario Douglas. That's probably one of my closest friends from there. Um, I probably only talk to him now from that team. So we talk occasionally. Yeah, play the game, play 2K or something like that. But yeah. But all those guys are cool. Taekwon, Juju, Devontae, all those guys kind of took me under their wing. KB. I talk to KB too sometimes too. Um, so yeah.
Pop had a good game against I'm blanking on who we just played. Oh my goodness, the
Oh, the
Steelers.
Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Wow,
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
yeah.
Wow,
I know.
COVID brain.
I sent him a text already. I'm like, man, keep your head up, because I know he was.
Yeah,
He made it's a mental mistake, man. That like, it was a whole bunch of pressure riding on that moment. 4th and 1. Obviously, like looking at it, you're like, bro, why did you not just dive forward? Like, just get the first down. But as a player, like sometimes it's just like is so much going on at the moment. So yeah, I he definitely, he knows he messed up. Obviously, he knows that. But at the same time, this is what I wish fans knew. Like sometimes you gotta just show them some love too. Like don't
yeah,
kill them. Like I see stuff on social media. I'm like, man, but I just send him a text like, bro, we had 5 turnovers.
That's
Like
what I'm
that.
saying.
This
yeah.
game is not on you, bro. We
Yeah.
fumbled 4 times. So, um. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely saw that. But yeah, I just sent him a little positive text like, bro, you're good, man.
Yeah, that's the last thing you should blame after you fumble
Yeah.
all that many times and get that close to
Yeah.
the end zone and don't score. Like there's a
Yeah.
plenty of other things that are wrong
Right.
here.
Right. But but we straight though. Like to do that, to have 5 turnovers and lose by 7 points, like you should know that you're pretty good. You're in a pretty good spot. Just gotta take care of the ball. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I mean, he had a good game. If you look at
Yeah.
the stats and everything, he's getting
Yeah.
too much blame for that. But a few of those guys like Pop that played with you are still on the team, still making an impact. And how do you feel when you watch those guys make it on the big stage and
Yeah.
make the big plays?
Yeah. So this kind of goes back to like roadie days. So like when I was basically waiting my turn, I mean, I had to cheer for the people that were on the field. Like that's just what I had to do. And so I kind of just take that in life in general. So when I see him out there, obviously, yeah, I want to be out there. I should be out there. But you kind of just have to kind of put that to the side. Like, yo, those are my guys out there. So every time they come on, I'm always watching, cheering them on. K-Sean, that was my boy. We used to be up till 4 in the morning playing Fortnite or Call of Duty or something like that. So, um, and I always wish the best to all of those guys that I played with. So, yeah.
Funny, Kayshawn. Another thing I saw that you definitely shouldn't have seen at the time and probably didn't. Nesson did a ranking of the wide receivers that were new. So there were 4 of them at that point. I can't remember if it was mini camp or summer camp, but they had you above Kayshawn.
Yeah. So, yeah, at first he was kind of struggling. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if it was mental for him or what it was. Obviously, he's talented. Um, but yeah, I think he was kind of struggling a little bit with everything. The pressure. Because at first he was like big at LSU before he got hurt. He was like a big name,
Oh yeah.
and so I think he was kind of just upset. Like he went. I don't know what round he went. Maybe sixth
7th.
round, the 7th round, and so um, I think that kind of just was weighing on him, and he just kind of had to get out of a funk. So he kind of struggled a little bit, but. Not to take away from, I think I was doing pretty well too, during that. But yeah, it was a good time, man. Just those injuries, they suck, especially at that level. Like you just get let go, man. So yeah.
Your next step after the Pats was the CFL. How was it adjusting to a different game, really, with different rules?
Yeah, that was tough. It's an extra person, longer field, wider field, all these different kicking rules. Like it was definitely hard to adjust to. Um, and then on top of that, I feel like I tell people this too. I think it's harder to make a CFL team than an NFL team because they only have like 14 American spots. And so you're at receiver, you might have two Americans that can play. And if they just had two Americans last year, well, most likely they're bringing the same people back. Or if you're lucky, they bring just one back. And then now it's maybe probably 5 or 6 Americans fighting for one spot. And so, yeah, it took a lot of adjusting to get to for sure. The game, but also that aspect too. So,
I didn't even know that about the CFL. I didn't realize there was a limit on how many Americans they could sign.
I had no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. And then they have like a limit per position too. So they need like you need to have like 3 Canadian receivers on the field at all times. So then the other two are American. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of different stuff like that that's like hard to adjust to.
What do you think was your biggest skill as a receiver?
Um, I would like to say route running. I feel like I took pride in that, and that's what I was kind of not known for, but that was kind of my thing. I feel like um just, you know, varying how I ran each route, trying different stuff. Um, so yeah, I think I definitely took pride in my route running. Yeah.
And now you've been helping teach kids that are developing as receivers or football players. What's the number one thing that you try to instill in them?
Um, I would say just growth. Like you don't just come out here and just go through the motions. Like I want you to get better. And that's kind of why I do it too. Like I just love seeing the results of kids getting better. Like they come, like obviously they book a session and they're like just a raw kid. No, not really having good technique or haven't really been introduced to good technique. And obviously I have pro knowledge. And so when I give it to them, obviously they're ahead of their time, ahead of what they're learning in practice or in school or whatever. And just to see the progress within like 2 or 3 sessions, like that's kind of why I even do it to begin with. Um, so that's just kind of really cool to see. Um, so yeah, that's kind of why I do it.
We stream a lot of high school football on this network here. And for any parents that happen to see this and want to book you, what can they expect from you and how do they book a lesson?
Yeah, I'm on a app called Coach Up, so they can go on there or just DM me on Instagram. I also have a training page too with the receiver. I'll train DBs, so receivers, DBs, running backs too, but um, they can expect me to just help their kid grow as a football player, but I also give them life lessons too. Like I've been through the whole thing. Anything they could think of, I've been through it. And so I feel like there's nothing that I can't teach them or at least give to them and hope that they use. Um, so I feel like just becoming an overall better person, but really a better football player too. So,
Could you give our viewers one final life lesson before we close up here?
um, let's see. I would just say, and just put the work in. Like, even if it doesn't look like you can get the job or football players, if it doesn't look like you'll be able to play or beat the first string out, man, just put your head down and put the work in, man. Like I've been the furthest back you could possibly be, seventh string, sixth, fifth, and if you just put your head down and work, man, it'll all pay off. The game always rewards people who work hard. So, well, life in general. So that's what I would say. That's what I'll give y'all. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, thanks for joining us here, Ed. You really helped my COVID boredom as I've been stuck in the house all week. But it's awesome to hear from somebody who really made it so far and had such an impact on this area and both levels, college and NFL. I was really proud as a URI guy to see you making noise up there in Foxborough.
Appreciate
So
that.
appreciate what you did for the school and the community, and we'll keep in touch, man.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you, Ed. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, and laying
Yeah,
the foundation for what's a great program and like a family to me that I'm a part of. Now it's really cool to talk to guys who've been through with that team and experienced all those struggling years. So
for sure. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
that's going to do it for us, folks. For Kyle Reel, this has been Andrew Fiore. You will catch us on Friday doing our NFL picks. We will be back after missing last week. I will be at home virtually again, but then next Wednesday we'll have another great guest for you, and I'll be back in the studio. So a lot coming up here on Fiore Calls Game, but thanks for watching, folks, and stay healthy out